And welcome back to Spoiler Kings. I'm Brian the Grizzly here with Brandman Brandon. What's up?
Not too much, not too much.
All right, well, we're going to sit here and talk about Bel Air. Bel Air came out last week with episodes one through three for season three. A lot of stuff was going on, and kind of want to cover those things. Episode 4 dropped tonight, so when we do this again next week, we'll do 4 and 5. We'll be totally caught up.
Mhm.
But Bel Air season 3, I've loved this show the first 2 seasons. What were your first thoughts of these first 3 episodes?
I liked it. It jumps right back in to the show. Gave myself a little refresher course with the previous episode before I started watching this one. It doesn't really skip a beat. It still maintains the dramatic tone that this take on Fresh Prince is going for. Um, good kind of progression as to where the characters are at this point. That really worked for me. Uh, yeah, they're very much in their element, and they're even going in the angle with Will's father, Lou, which
Who?
I'm
Hmm?
hoping they handle better than they did in the original Fresh Prince, because screw that guy in the original
I
one,
don't want me, man.
friggin' bum. Um, but yeah, I like. I think the thing that I really like about this show is the fact that they did end up taking like the serious kind of soap opera esque route. I think that ended when I first heard about it. My knee jerk reaction was like, really? They're doing that? That sounds stupid. But then now I kind of realize it's the best thing they could have done for it, because if they just went the straight like sitcom route and rebooted it, it all it would have been was just like a carbon copy of the original. That would instantly turn people off and be like, oh, I'm just sticking with the original. So the realistic drama, almost soap opera take was the way to go. Best thing for it, actually.
Yeah. So I was watching this. So first off, I gotta commend them. Starting episode season 3 in the summertime with Will Smith with Fresh Prince is just genius, right? Because what
Hmm.
was Will Smith's most popular song, Summertime. So having that be the backdrop of the feel, so you're not kind of pigeonholed into having it fit in school. You can do
Hmm.
anything. You go outside. You don't have to answer those questions. You're taking that point away. So I thought that was smart. Um, the first episode is I'm back because Carlton is back from rehab. So being in rehab and he's only there for a month, I thought that was short, really
Hmm.
short, and
Right.
to understand how to live. If you've lived with the problem for all those years, right? It's hard after that quick turnaround, being able to have take those skills and be ready to live in the world. So I thought that was
Hmm.
very difficult for them, but it's cool seeing all the people you saw the photo shoot on for the magazine for Essence, seeing how they look like a perfect black family, and it was
A
really
power
just
couple.
the
Yeah.
power couple, great family. They look like they got it all. And when they step
Hmm.
up a season like that, I feel like that's always foreshadowing they're going to break everything.
Hmm.
So everything we think we know now is going to change. So I think that was a really cool way to set it up.
Hmm.
Um, and actually really kind of framed it well. Because she seems to be the truth setter. She's almost the outside cast member that we don't know because they focused on
Hmm.
everyone else more. So her being that it's almost like she's watching like us. She's us. So we relate to her more than we relate to everybody else because she's also watching it. So I thought
Yeah,
that was
she's
very cool.
basically the audience surrogate. Yeah.
Exactly. And saying the things that we think, holding across accountable, which we will
Hmm.
get to in the next couple episodes. Um, so episode 1, Hillary's back with Lamarcus, right? Um,
Hmm.
So they have that thing going on. With Lisa, they're not really calling it anything, but they're kind of just having fun in that first
Yeah,
episode.
going through the
Carlton
motions. Yeah.
Carlton was in found a girl when he was in rehab that he really likes. That was kind of crazy. That's it.
Hmm.
What up, Tony?
Tony, what's up?
So I mean, that's kind of the basis of what's going on, and you can feel something's not right with Phil and Viv. You just feel
Hmm.
something's not there. And then the first episode.
Hmm.
Then second episode. Well, let's talk about. I'm sorry. Will does talk to Lou and meets his dad and finds out his dad never left LA. That's a huge point.
Hmm.
Towards the end of the episode, Will goes and talks to Lou, and Lou
Hmm.
tells him basically, "Hey, I didn't want to. I didn't. I wasn't ready to meet you, and I didn't want to look at my son and not have my life together. So I stayed
Hmm.
out here and got my life together.
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to do."
Good, good deviation from the original. Um, you know, it doesn't make Lou seem like a complete bum like he was in the original. So I'm interested to see where they go with him. Um, hopefully, redemption arc. Always like Marlon partial, and I say that due in part to the fact that I've always liked Marlon Wayans. Always been a fan of his.
I think he did an amazing job in this in the 2 episodes he's really in.
People forget that he does have very good serious acting chops.
I think he's a better serious actor than he is a comedic actor.
Me too. Me too. Me too. I sure do. Heck, Requiem for a Dream proved that. Um, he was. I'll always be disappointed that the Richard Pryor movie that he was supposed to star in never happened
Yeah.
because I was really interested to see how he pulled that off, and I think they even had like a cast at that point, and I know they definitely had a director. It was going to be Lee Daniels, which would have been cool, but yeah, I'll always be bummed out that never came to fruition. But yeah, it's good to see Wayans remind everyone that he does have range,
Yeah.
and serious acting chops. So yeah, let's see where they go with him this season.
And then they did with Marlon, but he basically so he's Lou. Lou find out that he was a good basketball player. He's very
Hmm.
much like Will. He was all state. He was an MVP of the state tournament. He had all those things going for him, um,
Hmm.
which makes Will want to go exact opposite of his dad. So he quits
Yeah.
his AAU team for the summer. He says, "All right, I'm
Hmm.
out. No basketball this summer. I want to be something different."
Hmm.
Um, that kind of leads us more
Yeah.
into episode 2 because he wants to
Yeah.
become you know, he
Entrepreneur.
the entrepreneur. So you're the young black entrepreneur. He has that opportunity. He missed it in the first episode. In the second
Hmm.
episode, while Will and Carlton they make him get a job at the country club.
Hmm.
While doing that, um, they kind of meet some people, rub some elbows with a couple of people. Carlton, Phil has another party there. He meet we have the character that Vic Mensa plays, um,
Hmm.
which I love Vic Mensa, by the way. He is
I love Vic Mensa too. Like
he's
he's awesome.
he's
I
so
love Vic
awesome.
Mensa. Hmm.
Um, he plays a USC fighter, FC fighter, and who became a venture capitalist basically, and became a great entrepreneur. And he was looking for young black people to do the same thing. So he had a group that he was looking for. Will missed it the meeting with him the first time, but
Hmm.
Carlton actually
Carlton vouched for him.
vouched for him. Yeah, I thought that was very cool
Hmm.
that Carlton ride it out for him. He was like, "Man, you guys are a perfect partnership. I've never seen one go so hard for family like that." And he lets both of them into his group and give them opportunity.
Hmm.
You have to come up with a business idea. Um, so that's where we're at in episode 2. That's what they're thinking about, looking for inspiration. So when Phil's at his law firm's event, they get to talk to some incredible entrepreneurs. So Byron Allen, if anyone doesn't know who Byron Allen is, you really should check on him. He is, I mean, he made money, he made some great things. He bought um basically a television network, and he parlayed that into a lot of great things. And seeing him there, and they had these great black entrepreneurs tell them how they became who they are. Give them the
Hmm.
idea that hey guys, you guys are the special sauce. What are you special at? And they give them an idea to come up with this new brand called Black Cess,
Hmm.
which is just talking about their own story, how when Phil, how Will's coming back from Philly, all the stuff that he went through, what Carlton's going through with his drugs, and they're leaning into it and making it into a clothing brand. I thought that's smart. That I
That
think
was
that
really
works
smart.
with today's youth.
Hmm.
So what do you feel about the relationship between Will and Carlton?
I like it. I like how they've kind of come quite a way since their first introduction, where they really didn't like each other, and then it became kind of like they tolerated each other, and now they've started to like each. Now they're like they very much like each other. They're basically brothers in arms,
Hmm.
which I really appreciate. And they made it make sense. They made it. I like how they fleshed out that relationship. From antagonistic to kind of passive to embracing each other. I really like that.
That's
So,
a very good point because I think we were all in
mm,
season one hating Carlton, right?
no one liked Carlton the first season one, or at least like the first half of season one. But now I think he's one of my favorites. I really like what they did with him. Uh, you know, dare I say, I almost think he's a little bit more of a little more interesting character than Will. No disrespect to Will on the
Mhm.
show, but they're giving more kind of they're giving more of the hefty material or like the fleshy material to Carlton, which I really like. You know, uh, yeah,
He did a lot of heavy lifting in these
mm,
last couple episodes,
yeah,
dealing with his addiction,
hmm,
dealing with this girl, and then the thing that he said to Will, I thought I missed in episode one. He said,
hmm,
um, "You have to look at what your own self. You trying to
hmm,
save me without looking at you,
hmm,
and we each have to run our own race. I have to run
yeah,
mine. You have to be yours." And I think that's a big
exactly.
point with people. When you try to save someone
Hmm.
else, you're probably trying to escape from what you're doing
Hmm.
instead of
Yeah,
focusing on what you should be focusing on yourself.
hmm, yep. I really appreciate uh, that Carlton is legitimately looking out for Will and his best interests, all the while trying to kind of make amends and atone for his own actions and kind of make himself become a better person. I really, yeah, I like when characters kind of have arcs like that. You know, we get to really see his kind of redemption arc at play in this new season.
I definitely agree. I definitely agree with that.
Hmm.
Um, while all that's going on, so talk about Hillary's now with Lamarcus, right? Um,
Hmm.
but so during that party, they have a
Hmm.
Juneteenth party. They announced to the world that they got engaged.
Hmm.
Marcus is trying to talk to Hillary's dad. She
Hmm.
sees Jazz with this girl.
Hmm.
She's jealous, so she wants to announce to the world to make him jealous.
Yeah, which is going to come back to bite her in the ass, probably in the worst possible way.
Well, I mean,
Just mhm.
their relationship is just is weird, but
Yeah.
I knew once she did that they're going to spend more time with each other. And when you
Mhm.
hate someone, you probably love them, right?
Yep.
You're
Mhm.
you're infatuated. There's a thin line between love and hate. So then that's what happens with them. You know, in episode two, they first they see him at the record store, then they're at the party with their dad's party, and they end up kissing
Mhm.
through all the arguing and those feelings. And I thought that I knew that was coming when Ashley said when after they announced their engagement, Ashley told Jazz, "I was rooting for you." So that's why she was like still trying to push Hillary to Jazz.
Yep.
So and I actually like the way they've done that.
Mhm.
Um, this different type of relationship instead of Jazz always chasing her. That this is actually something that they both need. They both want.
Yep, very much that soap opera will they won't they type thing.
So Tony said the women in this show are fire.
Man, they sure are.
I was in this other
Ooh.
group and we were arguing about Lisa and what's her name? The other one, Will's other girl.
Mhm.
What's her name?
Um,
Jackie. Duh. Yeah,
Jay.
Jackie. Yeah. So
Mhm.
we were arguing about Lisa and Jackie, and they were talking about which one looks better. Yeah, I think
Mhm.
I'm not really into Lisa, but I think Jackie's cute. Whatever. And they were,
Lisa's the other one. Yeah.
yeah, she's the
What's
one that's the swimmer.
mhm. Who's Hillary's friend? What's her name? The short haired one.
Oh yeah, yeah. What is her name? She is very cute.
Yep, sure is.
Ivy, right? Because it's
Ivy.
Tony's
Yeah, yeah,
friend.
yeah, 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 yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. Ivy.
Two,
Yeah.
of- two of my favorite things on the show, man, is the women and the outfits. The fits on the show are just on point. Like the real hero of this show, the real star of this show is the costume designer, the costume design department.
All right. All
You know.
right. Um, I think and they're doing a really good job with say what Tony said, Ivy. We're trying to mesh all these things going on because there's so many things happening between all these characters. Um, we also got
Mhm.
Jeffrey who brings his son into town.
Mhm.
Um, which he thinks he's doing it, Frederick to watch after him, right?
Mhm.
But we find out that Frederick's kind of into some other stuff,
Yeah, kind of interesting.
some shady stuff. What do you think about Frederick?
Another character that I like. Uh, I kind of like characters who aren't very cut and dry and do have kind of ulterior motives. Um, I think they might have him all wrong in terms of what he's doing and why, but we're gonna wait it out to see what happens in that particular aspect. But I like him. I think at the end of the day, he means well. Um, so yeah,
So what did you think
we'll
when he was
see.
first on that phone call, that first phone call? What did you think?
I'm curious to see how what exactly he's talking about again,
Yeah,
because I
that's
think.
different.
Say what?
I think he's talking about the old school Jeffrey.
Hmm. Yeah. So we'll see. I like where they're going with. I like where they're going with Jeffrey. I like that. Like I said, that they're bringing his son in. Jeffrey's past isn't quite clean. He mentioned being a top boy back in the UK,
Yep.
uh, which was interesting. I kind of got that vibe from him anyway. So I'm looking forward to seeing. Jeffrey's like another favorite of mine alongside Carlton on this show. I think he's probably like my runner-up favorite character behind Carlton. Uh, but yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing more of his son, if he's a chip off the old block, or if or just what exactly he's up to. Because I think everyone on surface level might kind of have it all wrong about him, and he's not as shady as people think he is.
Tony says Jeffrey's son is a straight scammer.
And we're gonna see. I feel like there may be a little bit more to it, but we're gonna find out as the season
I'm gonna guess
progresses.
Jeffrey's part number one, the one who he thinks died, is the other
Hmm.
Jeffrey, and he actually was more of a father figure in Jeffrey's
Hmm.
life. I mean,
Hmm.
in his son's life. So he actually does care about him, and even though he's using him to get to Jeffrey,
Hmm.
Frederick actually knows, his the number one, and that's what's going on.
Hmm.
He's gonna bring him back into his life. So I mean, that's just an interesting thing because now Jeffrey's trying to be a father, but
Yeah.
also protective. But you can you trust him because you don't know you were in his life, and you have to deal with that. So it's almost very much like Lou with Will. and you have
Hmm.
to respect what Frederick's been through because of all that. So, I don't know. I think that's really interesting.
Hmm.
Tony says, I like Lisa and Jackie, but Jackie's more my type. I don't know if either of them my type, but I think Jackie just looks better. Plus, I like
Hmm.
dancing. That's just me. I like dancers. I can't help
I'm all about Hillary and Ivy,
it. Okay, okay.
especially
Once again,
Ivy. Like the
when,
short hair is a risky look. Doesn't
when
work
you
on everyone, but she just makes it work.
when you can peel off the pixie look, that's
Mm.
a good thing. That's a cool thing.
Yep.
Yeah, he said. Tony said, "I wonder what Jeffrey's baby mama looks like to get Frederick looking the way he looks."
Hmm.
Yeah, that's a good question. Yeah, she be, if she's on the show, she'll be fine. So I know that
Hmm.
much. All right. So we have Black Cess. Um, Will and Carton are doing that. Come up with that idea.
Hmm.
And what do you see? What happened in episode 3 that surprised you?
The street race.
All right. What
Didn't
about
see that coming.
it?
Um, it just very much came out of nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
Like just kind of considering the rest of the episode. So I didn't expect them to like go that big with it. I thought it was going to be. Uh, I didn't expect that. Long story short, but I was good with it.
Were you surprised about they even brought in the gentrification idea in Southern California?
A little bit, a little bit. Um, that was another thing that I was surprised by too. So I'm interested to see how they make that work.
Yeah, and the
You
idea that
know.
all the small shops in Southern California are all, are closing up. They're pricing them
Hmm.
out. They're putting these huge high taxes on them, and they're trying to get rid of them. So now everyone is,
Hmm.
they're pushing out the black people. They have nowhere to go, and all the shops are going to be owned by someone else. So I thought they're bringing up things that happen in the black community everywhere,
Hmm.
and they're talking about things that people what we talk about a lot, but that's whispered in a lot of other places. So I appreciate when you bring things to light. The idea of what happens when you don't have your father in your life. The idea
Hmm.
that that it's two sides to that coin because you got Jeffrey with Frederick. The idea in a black marriage after a couple of years, the dynamics change. How do you continue to keep that spark going? The
Hmm.
idea that it's hard to be young and growing up in this world. How do you deal with drugs? Drugs in your family? How do you deal with your own identity? They're bringing up
Hmm.
all these ideas in this show, and I think it's a necessary thing, and it's needed. It's a needed thing.
Yep, I like the social commentary aspect that they're actually working into it. It helps with grounding the show. Like I said, again, another one of the best one of the best creative decisions they could have made with this show is going more not only serious but grounded with it.
Okay.
So they're I think it only helps the show.
All right, my next or second to last question is: where do you think they go with this? What do you expect from this season overall?
Hmm. I am curious to see where Carlton and Will go with their entrepreneurship. Like if it goes anywhere, if it all ends up like just crumbling beneath them, I feel like the we're going to see more of the rocky relationship between Will and Lou. I think that's going to be very much something that kind of goes like this and like this and like this. Personally, I'm hoping they patch things up. There's also kind of they've also kind of teeter tottered with the relationship between Phil and Uncle Phil and Aunt Vivian being on shaky ground. I think something major is going to happen with that because they've been kind of teasing it for pretty much throughout all last season or most of last season.
Who do you think is going to be the problem? Who do you think is going to cause the first issue? There's an issue already out there because of Phil not telling Viv
Mm.
about what happened before with the partner.
I think it's already. I think Phil, and
Gonna
I
tell her
think,
about Erica.
yeah, I think you just mentioned it. I think technically it's already happened with that. I think that's going to be like the main kind of catalyst.
You don't think it has anything with Viv and that taco truck guy?
Oh, it will.
Do you think she goes out on a date with him?
Yes,
Okay,
I certainly do. Yep, I feel like that's going to happen.
dude. I
Mhm.
feel like I hate seeing uh these things happen to a family, but I think these are realistic ideas, things that happen to marriages, to anything that's been a long time. You know that
Mhm.
if you take people for granted, your roles change, and because I think that's what's going on with Vivian right now. Because I didn't like the way she talked to Carlton. I didn't. I thought that was she was honest, but she was almost hurtful in her way of talking. I thought
Mhm.
that she's withholding stuff from Phil as not just a power thing, but because she doesn't like who she is, what the way she's being looked at. You know, like she wants to be. So I should be the one in charge. My career needs to be the forefront now, and you still trying to do your thing, and
Mhm.
you need to be sacrificing now. And she's mad without telling him those things. So once again, it's communication. When that works well, that's a huge problem with relationships. But you're seeing that play out, and that's why they're not having sex. They're not talking. They're not. They're pretending like everything is fine.
Mhm.
And these issues come up from those things. So I think they're the foundation of the family. So without that foundation, you're going to the whole family falls apart. I
Mhm.
think that's what I think we'll see in the next couple of episodes.
Mhm.
Tony says, I think Aunt Viv will kiss him, but stop anything further. Man, if she
Yeah.
does that, and then does Jeffrey go and add to his body count? Because I'm telling you guys, Jeffrey has a body count.
Oh yeah.
He killed that dude in
Absolutely.
England. He killed that dude that was messing with Will. He gave him that plane ticket. He killed that dude. Watch.
Mhm.
And we're gonna have another person to add to that body count because he's gangster.
Mhm.
Gangster in the suit is the toughest gangster ever. But yeah, I think that happens. I think that Will and Carlton have a falling out, and then you have to work through a partnership. It's going
Mhm.
to mirror their relationship they did in the first couple seasons. You know, and then they have to come back together to kind of figure it out, and that
Mhm.
will come back together as long as Phil and Viv actually work. You know, and I think this is
Yeah.
going to mirror the episode. You know, when they're singing the karaoke, from the Fresh Prince of Bel Air. They're talking about their lives together and all that stuff, and I think it's
Mhm.
going to mirror that type of episode, and that's what we're going to get more of, more drama, and then they'll only go so far, and then they'll turn back around and realize start episode 7 to start to work together to figure this out, and it's going to take something huge like maybe a relapse.
Yeah, I'm fearing a relapse in Carlton's future for sure.
Think about it. I mean, with the stress between Will and Carlton, them
Mhm.
not being together, that I think that's going to cause something like that, a relapse.
Yeah.
The stress is going to overwhelm him.
Mhm. I agree. Yeah, I definitely foresee that happening.
Yeah, Tony says, I think Jeffrey might send a message by sending some guys to beat up the chef, and scare him to leave Aunt Viv alone. I think he just walks over and just throws some powder. and puts all over his face. It just ends him immediately. No, I'm just saying. I think that he will have a talking to him, and then
Mhm.
he'll talk to Phil and let him know what's going on, and then Phil will address it with Viv, and then Viv's gonna say, "I know what you did before," and he's gonna say, "It was just a kiss, and she kissed me, and I pushed her away. You didn't push him
Mhm.
away," and that's what's gonna start that argument rolling downhill.
Yep, I could. Mhm.
One last question.
Technically, he'd be telling the truth.
He would be. Would be. He did push her away. Here's my
Mhm.
last question for you tonight, though. Who does Will choose at the end?
Lisa.
Jackie or Lisa?
I'm
Lisa?
thinking. I'm leaning towards Lisa.
I think because he chose Lisa last year and Jackie's not connected to anyone else with any more manipulation, that at the end of the day, he's going to say, I'm growing up. I don't need these fairy tales things. I don't need the girl next door. I'm going to go with her and going to choose
Mhm.
Jackie. And I think that's where it ends. I think he chooses Jackie and tells Lisa,
Mhm.
we're better as friends, and that breaks her heart.
I could. Yeah.
So he says, I could see dark skin Aunt Viv coming in, in as a therapist for Carlton.
Mhm.
Tony, that's fire. That's fire. The first Aunt Viv from the TV show being a therapist for Carlton,
How crazy would that be? Yeah.
that's fire.
Mhm.
Like I said, I think Will still has feelings for Jackie because he has more in common with her because they're from the same place and they're both trying to do more with their life than what everyone else telling them that that's all they are.
Mhm.
I think so too. I like that thought process. But overall, these episodes have been a lot of fun. It's complicated. This reimagination of the Fresh Prince is good. I think they're doing a really good job with tackling these ideas that occur in a lot of families,
Mhm.
that occur in a lot of couples, that occur in a lot of young Black people's lives today, and they're going to address them out in the open. And even I think the American idea of when you have a drug problem, addiction is not something that you just get over. And that's why I thought about the whole
Mhm.
28 days. I think that was enough. It's not addiction is a disease and it's something you have to deal with every day until you can accept every day that I have to deal with this and think that you're just going to be able to push it down and hide it. You're going to revisit it over and over and over again. So
Yep. Mhm. Yep.
I'm
And
I'm
again, like I said, like the route they go with this show, it grew on me probably like from the second episode in. Originally, I don't even know what I was thinking, man. Like being disappointed that it wasn't gonna be comedic when that turned out to really work towards it at its advantage. I like that this is very much its own animal. You know, I think there really is no comparing it to the original because it does its own thing. They took the basic framework of the original and just kind of did their own thing, which I appreciate. I think it works very well.
I think it allows for a lot of tough things that the first show talked about because they did have a lot
Hmm.
of these ideas, but it allows it to be done in a more serious way. And I think that's
Hmm.
to his advantage. And I would love to see. I love seeing all the callbacks. So we're going to
Hmm.
see Jeffrey in this season, the old school Jeffrey. I would love to
Hmm.
see episode when Will's there. I love to see old school Aunt Viv. I think that would be cool. The OG Carlton will be another businessman who wants to use Will and Carlton's merch for his campaign he's doing.
Yeah, I'm surprised there hasn't been an Alfonso Ribeiro cameo just yet, but then there haven't really been any cameos yet.
Yeah, I mean, well, we know Jeffrey's going to be there, so
Jeffrey's going to be there, yeah.
and the light skin Viv has been there too.
Mhm.
So she was in there because she
Well,
was the original person who ran the art thing. That
oh wait! Yeah, you're right. I'm so sorry. Yeah, Mm. Now it's coming back.
yeah. So all those are really cool things. I think that we're going to enjoy this going forward. This modern day kind of retelling of the story.
Mhm.
This I'm enjoying it. So I want to know if you guys are enjoying it. Let us know in the comments of this video. Let us know if there's something we're missing that we should be seeing that we're not seeing right now.
Mhm.
I'm really liking all the twisted turns they're doing. It's hard for me to watch sometimes because I hate seeing bad things happen to people, and the fact that the
Mhm.
idea that as you do more, you get a lot more problems. But it's damn sure entertaining.
I'm the same way.
All right, guys, like this video. Join us on Mondays and Thursdays. So as we talk about all these things, we'll continue our talk on the Fresh Prince of Bel Air or Bel Air, basically. Season 3. We'll do that on Thursday. Next Thursday, we will do the same thing. We'll knock out 4 and 5, and we'll get everything caught up. Come join us. Bring your opinions and let us know if we're missing something. Appreciate you guys. Tony says Will could be a childhood friend of Lou to tell the new Will how good Lou was and what happened to Lou.
Mhm.
That would be cool. I like it. Come with all your ideas, guys. Bring them in the comments, and we'll talk about them. But right now, if you in a live show, we're gonna keep on going to the next topic. If you're looking at a video afterwards, that's our thought process. Come join us, and we will see you guys in the next video.